Accusations of tone deafness today as Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross wonders out loud why furloughed federal workers are relying on food banks to make ends meet.
I know they are, and I don't really quite understand why, because as I mentioned before, the obligations that they would undertake, say a borrowing from a bank or a credit union, are in effect federally guaranteed. So the 30 days of pay that some people will be out, there's no real reason why they shouldn't be able to get a loan against it.
Ross, who is estimated to be worth $700 million, seemingly out of touch with workers who will soon have missed 2 paychecks. But after several hours of scrutiny on social media and cable TV, Ross tried to clean it up.
All I was trying to do is make sure that they're aware that there are possible other things that could help somewhat mitigate their problems.
His comments coming after this from the president's daughter-in-law and campaign advisor, Lara Trump, talking about the impacted federal workers.
It's not fair to you, and we all get that, but this is so much bigger than any one person. It is a little bit of pain, but it's going to be for the future of our country.
Democrats pounced on the seemingly tone-deaf comments.
Many of these federal employees live paycheck to paycheck. Secretary Ross, they just can't call their stockbroker and ask them to sell some of their shares. They need that paycheck.
I don't know, is this the let them eat cake kind of attitude?
Meantime, in a late-night tweet, Trump backing down from his latest conflict with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, tweeting that he would not seek to deliver the State of the Union address at another location after Pelosi pulled her invitation to do the address in the House chamber, citing the shutdown. White House aides brainstormed alternative venues for the speech for days, but none appealed to the president. Pelosi taking note of Trump's uncharacteristic retreat.
Thank you for recognizing that it's inappropriate to have a State of the Union address.
Wow. That video here, that is a lot to unfold. So right now the government is in the middle of a shutdown, and it's a partial shutdown apparently. And during this partial shutdown, there are federal workers who have just received not one but 2 checks stating with a dollar amount of $0. Now, some of these people are being forced to work, and some of them were just being sent home because they're in the middle of a shutdown. So some jobs you gotta show up for, and other jobs you don't have to show up for. But if you're not paying those people, isn't that kind of like slavery? Anywho, in that video that I just saw, it was 2 people in question that I would like to ask, what in the world is going on? A man by the name of Wilbur Ross, who was telling people to go get loans. Now, I'm not mistaken, but if you go to a bank and you apply and you get a loan, once you get that loan, you got to pay the money back? Are they going to add interest? I mean, there's a lot of factors into that. It's kind of stressful to even have to worry about that. Right now, there's people from reports that I'm seeing that are going to soup kitchens. There was one couple that said that the money that they do have, they're making sure their children are eating, and then they, they're sitting up there and they're having sandwiches and macaroni and cheese every day, just to make sure their kids get the meals and stuff that they need. If I'm not mistaken, this is America, right? Not a third world country. First world country. Like this is the country that people are trying to come to, right? Because we're putting this wall up to stop the immigration problem, right? I'm so confused. Like it doesn't make sense. But I'm not even mad at Wilbur Ross with what he said, because the man is worth $700 million. I'm not mad at what he said, because he doesn't understand what it's like to be worth, I don't know, $8,000. To be 1,000. He doesn't know what that's like. To be 100 there. He doesn't know what that's like to live check to check. Now, I don't know how he got his money. I don't know when he got his money. I got to do some more research into the man. However, I do know that there's no way that with that amount of money at his age, he can understand what it's like to struggle. I don't think he understands. So I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him for making those statements. I'm not. Because that's the way of the world. Because you have people that are the 1%ers that make all that money, and they have no idea what it's like to eat which sandwiches. You know, when you take out some bread and you wish that you had some meat on it, they don't know what that's like. Also, which brings me to Laura Trump. Who the hell is Laura Trump? Laura Trump. Oh, she was a campaign advisor for Donald Trump's 2016 election. You know, the one he won. Also, before that, she was an American TV producer. And she's married to the weird Trump. You know, Eric Trump, the forbidden Trump, the one that no one ever talks about. That dude's weird. Thank you for that information. I could have just looked it up on Google, but thanks. But you're right. It is something wrong with that Eric Trump dude. The forbidden son. Anyway, at the exact same time while all this is going on, the White House begun brainstorming ways that Donald Trump could have his State of the Union speech because he wants to talk about stuff, about the State of the Union. We know what the State of the Union is. There's people right now who are waiting for money that just got two checks that read zero amount. What more do you need to say to us? What? Maybe you're going to talk about the one lady that said that she applied for unemployment. And when she applied for unemployment, they sent her a letter that said that we're going to do our determination within 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe that's what you're going to talk about, right? Maybe you're going to talk about the people that are down at the soup kitchens getting food. You're going to talk about them on your wall? Okay. Maybe you're going to talk about the fact that the only information that I can find with a legal immigrant committing a crime were 2 crimes. 2 in the entire 2018 period. However, there were over 152 shootings, mass shootings, that were done by white Americans. Are we going to put a wall around them? That's what you're going to talk about? Maybe you're going to talk about all these protests that happen every single day. Maybe that protest that just recently happened outside of Mitch McConnell's office where American workers had pieces of paper plates with words written on it that stated things like, we want our money and we will work for money and please open back up the government. Please. So we're fighting for a wall that the majority of Americans don't want. But the few that do, you're going to fight for the few. But the majority don't want. Okay, so let's say for example, you have 100% of the people in America. And out of the 100% of the people in America, more than 50% of them say that they don't want the wall. Why is the government still shut down? And what else are you going to talk about when you do your speech? Are you going to talk about the fact that if you do build the wall, it's going to be on private land? Land that's owned by other people? And if you do build the wall on that land, what you going to do? Intimate domain? Is that what it's called? You just basically just take the land from those people? Wow. So maybe I am waiting to hear your speech. But you're not going to be able to do your speech because Nancy Pelosi won't let you. Looks like you got put in place by a woman. Mr. Let's go and grab him by the pussy. Look like she got you by your hello. Boom. Boom, honey child. Anywho, we have to come up with a way to get those people back to work. And the only way to get those people back to work is for you guys to stop being ridiculous. Republicans and Democrats. Stop being ridiculous and open back up the government. If you can pick up what I'm putting down around the town, Charlie Brown.